So, questions?
And Zeb will be answering most of the questions, and I can step in on that.
Okay, Freddie doesn't want to talk.
The last time I did it, they crucified me.
I'll try to answer your questions.
With regards to the food champion certification, does everybody that's working in the business have to have the certificate, or is it like one per business, or how exactly?
I believe everyone, one full-time or equivalent to one full-time employee, and your household members need to have, including you.
So everybody working in business?
Mark, are you going to repeat the questions, or is that?
I don't know, Paul, can you hear that or not?
If it sounds like the rest of the people in the audience need it, I think I'm okay here.
Do you think you're okay hearing the question?
But before you guys, can I restate something, right? But you see, we are not welcome where we go. So, Mark said something, I want to kind of make a correction to it. I know we have that conversation, but you know, most of our mandate comes from the state public health, kind of the one leads, and then we do what the state does. The state is in charge. They went back, and on the state FAQ, we're working on to put ours. Mike said direct sale. When we do direct, you can do within the whole state. The state put it out there that it's within the county that you reside in.
Well, that's where we have a difference of opinion.
Right. Yes. I know.
Okay.
I grew from the messenger. So this is why you guys in the state and in the state give it there. So the state put it out there that it's within the county. So right now, I think cleanup bill, Mark's going to work on all that until that we are enforcing that it has to be within the county.
That's for direct sales officer?
Well, no, it's also indirect sales, because let me jump in here. When we wrote the bill, we had to make a compromise in terms of where we could sell what it is that we made. And the compromise, and I remember this distinctly, that all the health directors brought into it, and there were endless conference calls about this with health directors all over the state. The compromise was that Class B, the indirect sales, could only be made within the county of origin. And we went over that in fine detail. And everybody agreed to it. And we also agreed, and the health directors agreed, that Class A could be anywhere in California. And I remember them signing off on it and saying, this is the way it is. So we have to go back to the Department of Public Health and just tell them that they made a mistake. That's I've been through the bill itself over and over again, and nowhere have I seen that Class A is limited to the county.
But even the last time we ever stated that it was within the state.
Right.
So that is something I just want to be clear. And if it changes, then what we're doing, everything that changes, we put on our website right away. And let you know, so.
But what we're saying is the way it works is if the California Department of Public Health says this is the way it's going to be, then the counties have to follow it until the state changes its mind. So that's one thing that we're going to work on by putting pressure on the state to say, you know, you made a mistake in the FAQ, that's not the way it should be, and then we'll get that changed and the counties can follow. But as things stand right now, and I'm assuming the reciprocity would apply to Class A as well as Class B.
Right.
Right. So that means, what that means is if you're selling here in Los Angeles County, and Los Angeles County enters into an agreement with, say, an adjoining county, Ventura or Orange County, to say that stuff that's made in LA County can also be sold in Orange County and vice versa, then fine. Class A and Class B, if you make it in LA County, you can also sell in Orange County. But they have to have that inter-county agreements, which these guys have in the background. Okay.
Two parts of the question. One is, what's the standing of pets in the habitation? Or is there a place on the website that I can? So if you have pets, does that mean you cannot do this?
Pets should be, during cottage food operation, pets should not be in the area, whether it's the kitchen, dining room.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. That's all right. And the other question was, I'm interested in doing something that's mobile, and so I wanted to ask you, can you define what constitutes the kitchen? What are the constituent elements? What are
The
the
kitchen would
constituent
be
elements?
your kitchen, the kitchen of your primary residence, where you live.
Okay. Basically, I'm building a large wood fire cabinet, and I want to have the kitchen on that. So I want the whole thing to be mobile, basically.
So
So
where is the oven going to
the oven is on a trailer. It's on an enclosed trailer. And so what I'm curious about. Yeah.
Well, let me jump in. No, I mean, I have a beautiful wood-burning oven out of my backyard, and I'm not allowed to use it for this. I can't. I use it, but I use it basically to make pizzas for my friends and family, but I don't do it for this. If the law is very, very specific about this, it has to be your home kitchen. It can't be a mobile unit, or it can't be like a secondary, like, okay, well, this is my house, but I have another apartment somewhere, and that's where I'm going to be doing. No, I mean, believe me, we wanted it to be looser than that, but the health department said no, absolutely not.
So you have a.
I'm sorry, who's going to?
That's a quite,
I just want to ask a little bit about the internet. So if we're going to advertise our wares on the internet, we clearly can't sell across state lines and all that. So if you have a website, do you just funnel them to your local county and you're, please buy them at wherever you sell them? Is that how does that work if you're going to advertise yourself on the internet, your wares?
You can take orders.
Yeah.
And your online orders, but delivery or selling has to be, depending on the class. If you're class A, it has to be directly.
Within that county.
Within the
Yes.
county, yes. And so we get that sorted
Right, so
out.
you have to be really clear about that when you advertise.
Exactly, exactly, right. It has to be within the county of all classes now. Hopefully that will change soon, but for now.
and when we say class A to remember class B really is class A2 plus selling to a third party. Right? The extra being a class B is you can sell to a third party.
Oh, I see, yes.
Yeah, through shops and restaurants.
Yeah. So you have an oven outside your you have an oven outside your kitchen, and you cannot sell products made on your outdoor oven, so to speak.
No, I know.
It literally has to be within the home itself.
Yes, it has to be in the kitchen itself. And the only spaces that are allowed to be permitted are your kitchen and any adjoining room that you use for storage, that you designate for storage. And it can't be a garage, right? But it has to be. I mean, for instance, in my home, it's my kitchen and my dining room. Because the dining room is right adjacent to the kitchen, and I use it to store some stuff in the dining room. That's all.
One more question too. So you have a Class B license, and you decided to upgrade to Class A. You paid the
No,
$65.
if you have a Class A, you upgrade to Class B. Yeah. Do you pay a difference?
Or do you get credit for it?
Remember, just remember this in mind. The county needs money. So they're going to charge you the maximum they possibly can.
Can I jump in? We become friends, but sometimes friends we agree to disagree. The law says you need to get a home inspection for Class B. That service that we're doing actually is for the home inspection, plus reviewing the document and all that. So when you do a Class A, it's just a document review. So if you go to a B, it's a whole different process that we do. So that's why my advice to people that call is if you want to think you will expand, get a D because you cover for both, get it done, and then when you decide you want to expand, you're already done.
Right. And also, you can, as I say, go to Facebook and see what's happening in other counties around the state. Los Angeles County is great. I mean, these guys are doing a fantastic job. Santa Clara County, for instance. Santa Clara County is the county in which San Jose, or whatever. We pay $194 for our Class B permit here in Los Angeles County. You want to guess how much they're charging for a Class B permit in Santa Clara County of the state? Over $600.
Wow.
We do a Class A down here, $65. Santa Clara County, over $300. And it's absurd. It's absolutely absurd. And I know that Angelo Bellomo, in charge of the Environmental Health Department down here, was incensed at this a month ago, and he basically sent out a memo to all the health directors and said, no, we got to keep these in line. But we like Angelo and everything, but he doesn't really have any control over what the other counties do. They're going to do whatever they want. And not only that, a lot of them haven't even got their act together. They haven't even started the whole permitting process. They just can't get it.
Especially when you're limited to gross $35,000 a year.
It's absurd.
And it's a percentage.
Absolutely absurd.
It's a crazy percentage.
Yeah, but that's just the thing, is we can't do anything about it because we're in Los Angeles County. It's up to the people in Santa Clara County to get together and say, you can't do this. And so, we'll offer them all support.
There's a question in the back.
Okay. I know you're working with Long Beach and Vernon, and you said one other city. Pasadena. Any talks about working with the city of Burbank?
Burbank, if you reside in Burbank, you would apply with us.
Yeah, let me
Because those three cities that Mark mentioned are the ones that they have their own health department. We don't have jurisdiction over those three cities. That's why if you reside in one of those three cities, you would apply with their health department. But Burbank falls under LA County.
It falls under LA County, but not LA City.
Right, LA County. That's the whole thing. For health issues, health department issues, it's county. Except for those three cities.
Oh, really? Okay.
Then there you go to them. But
I didn't
all the other
realize
stuff, for the planning, for the
For that,
business
it's all
license, that's city. And
Right.
health.
We can check, we all can check. So that information is for everybody. But there's 80-something cities that reside in LA County.
88.
And it's hard to kind of deal individually. So that information we not only will help us and other people find you to do business with, but the cities can also do it out when it comes to money.
Thank you.
Speaking of other states, I live in Ventura, and so
County, right?
right, Ventura
Okay.
County, yeah. Well, I live in the city of Ventura, in Ventura County.
Okay.
So my question is the Class A and Class B, is that a state designation?
Yes.
Or is that okay, so that's not Los Angeles.
No.
It just depends on how much each county charges for that. Okay.
Right.
And then, so I'm assuming most of the permitting and everything would be about the same in that county as long as the county started offering a pack together permit. I mean, could I
You mean in terms of the cost? The cost?
yeah, or just like you showed the Los Angeles Public Health Department website that had, how to get the permit. And I'll look and see. I haven't looked for this, but I just don't know if you knew anything about other counties.
Yes, and a good place to look is the AB1616 Facebook page. You'll find people from Ventura County who've been writing in and asking about this. It's a great, hey, social media, it's cool. So
Yeah.
people get together, it's great. But in terms of the costs involved, the higher end was Santa Clara County, but the city of Pasadena is actually coming in at less than LA County. So it's amazing.
And also the co-op, like if we would take orders, like someone else mentioned, would that be considered direct sales?
Yes.
Okay. So if someone is requesting the food and make it and then have a distribution point where they would come and distribute it, that way.
You would have to sell it directly to them.
To them, that person would come, right?
Right.
Not to a store.
Let me just stop here and ask you about that idea. We have two representatives from the health department. If Los Angeles bread bakers were to get together and have this sort of cooperative agreement whereby we collectively, say, hired somebody to actually man whatever a booth at a farmer's market, around different farmers markets, would there be a problem with the health department in doing something like that?
It depends what class.
Well, we would be farmers markets, so it would be Class A.
Right. For class B, if you want an A, that means it's direct sell to the consumer, right?
But it's
So-
farmers markets.
Right. But if I'm class A, I'm going to farmers market and I'm doing the sell to you.
Or one of my employees is going to.
Right. So from your employee, not the co-op employee.
Well, the co-op, couldn't the co-op get a place?
Yes, it was like a 1:30.
We're all employing this person. We're all employing this person.
This is one of those marked out, so we need to get a county council opinion on it. Because
What we're going to do is, Victoria here, and thank you, Victoria, is she's going to write down all those questions that we cannot get answers to today. And then we're going to send those questions to these guys afterwards and hold them. So generally they're good. They'll come back to us in a few days and say that they've got an answer for us. Okay, so that's a great idea. Yes. Okay.
Is there a, I think I've seen on labels before where it says local listed ingredients go to, is there, like, since bread is flour, water, salt with something else, can you just make generic labels for everything, a little tag that says for specifics on this particular bread, go to my website for a list of ingredients?
No, the law requires that the label includes all the ingredients that's in the product.
And this is, Mark said, this is a federal thing, not just not state, but it's federal. Yes.
I was reading the perishable food items on the website, and it didn't include like butter, eggs, or milk. It just said cream. Let's say you're using butter, eggs, or milk, but they come to a certain temperature, of course. Is that considered perishable or non-perishable?
Those are perishable items you can use them to make the product.
Yeah, you can make it
So you
red.
can include in your
Yeah.
product
You can use
actually
it.
eggs, butter, and
Let's
cream,
stabilize that.
and
Right, because it's baked, but you can't use a cream filling. That's you can't have a meat filling or a cream filling because those are cheese filling. Those will go bad.
But that, remember what Mark said, it have to be shelf stable. So think of when the product is done, does it need to be refrigerated?
well, if it has eggs in it, it has to be refrigerated.
That's what you make it.
Once it's baked, it's
What's that?
Once it's baked.
Okay, so once it's cooked, it doesn't have to be refrigerated. Basically.
Yeah,
Rice
once
or eggs or milk.
If you leave that food and it's going to spoil, then it's not considered shelf stable, so you can't. And, you know, on the list, we're basically going by what the state list is. You have to be, if it's on the state list, how you prepare to get there, the state assume that it's going to be shelf stable, so that's what we are going with that food list. So as long as you meet that product on the state list, there's going to be some ingredients like, you know, fruit tamale, or making tamales. All those, you're going to use some ingredients that are potential hazardous, but when it's done, if it's shelf stable, that's what it is.
Okay. I assume this doesn't cover the songs of beer.
Beer?
I assume this doesn't cover that. No.
He didn't put it on the bill, so we don't have to.
Maybe we should try putting in something here.
It's certainly way against the bread.
Yeah. But I think anything with alcohol in it, you sort of open a whole new can of worms there.
Even if you bake it, beer. I'm not getting
Oh, well, I think that wouldn't be a problem if you could bake with it.
If it's baked with alcohol and end product, contains less than 0.5% half of 1% by weight.
Of alcohol, you're upset. Yeah, because anytime you bake bread, there's a lot of alcohol in it. That's what makes it smell so good. Even if you don't add alcohol, the yeast is in there fermenting and making alcohol. But unfortunately, it all burns off when you bake it.
And it's going to be on our FAQ to have it, but that's a state requirement actually how much alcohol can be in the product to be
Okay, so it's on your
considered.
website.
Right.
Is it already there? Is that was like.
If it's not there, we put it up. We just came up with 39 FAQ questions, but I don't think it's FAQ anymore. I call it companion bill. So But 39 is all the questions we've been getting. I mean, we getting a lot of what people. So we're trying to actually get it, want to put out there for everybody, so they know what the ruling and what we decide on. So part of this, the alcohol is one of them that's going to be on there. Once we hopefully by Monday or Tuesday we have it posted on our website.
But where it stands right now, just to repeat, is it has to be less than 0.5% alcohol by weight.
Yes.
In order to be something that can be done in prohibition.
Yes.
I thought you were up next.
Yes, yes.
Reaching in for
What are the restrictions on street sales, like direct street sales?
You would have to contact your local city and see if they have any regulations on that.
Can I jump in? I mean, under either Class A or Class B, that's allowed under this. I mean, the direct sale to a consumer is like even out on the street. That's fine as far as it goes. But you're going to need all kinds of other permits and permissions to actually do that. So,
And some students are allowed.
you know,
Yeah, my question is kind of related to his, is if we're cooking and preparing at home, can we sell from a mobile unit where there is no preparation going on? In other words, the finished product goes onto a van that goes to where the food truck's parking, and to sell that product where no preparation is done in that truck, other than to sell and exchange.
You may need to get a permit from vehicle inspection.
So that's the question. What van are you?
A van dedicated specific for the selling of the product.
And is the van permitted to sell food from it?
That's my question.
Right. So okay, that's what I want to see. So let's say the reason I'm asking, somebody may have a food truck already, food vendor already and a permit, so they can do the home and then sell on it. That's like a restaurant says it's homemade. They're okay. Now you proposing, then that van needs to be approved as a vehicle that sell food.
And how do we know, or where do we go to find out?
You call us. Okay. We have a program called Vehicle Inspection Program, and that's what they do.
And if it is, like Mark mentioned earlier, if the product is unpackaged, like, the bread or something, then it would have to say somewhere by the window that the product was made.
proudly made.
Yeah. I have a few questions. So I've seen on labels, sometimes at the farmer's market, they'll say like state mandated added minerals or vitamins, like the enriched, stuff, so they say that they have to put that in there. And yours just said water, salt, that's fine.
Right. Here, can we talk to that? That's a federal labeling requirement. It has to do with nutrition facts.
Right.
And the deal with that is, I have to do some research about this, is that if you make a certain amount of, it used to be money per year, but now it's units, they changed it recently. If your factory produces a certain number of units of food per year, you have to put the nutrition facts on it. It's that label that you see on all these things.
Yeah.
If you make less than that, you don't have to put that on unless you're making some kind of health claim for your food. If you say it's going to fight cancer or whatever, then you have to put some, indicate how it's going to do it by putting all those nutrition facts on it. But
And this wasn't specific, what I saw wasn't like that traditional nutrition facts label. It was just it was a statement saying as part of the ingredients, federally required enrichment minerals or something. Like all they'll say enriched flour, and I just didn't know why that was on there. I thought that was.
Tell you the truth, we don't have an answer for you. Some people put all kinds of stuff on things that we may not even know it until we find out, or there's a complaint and realize they're not supposed to be doing that.
And I have one more question about kombucha, which is a fermented tea, but it does have a little bit of alcohol in it at the end. It's about 0.5%.
Well,
Is that legal?
let me jump right into the kombucha issue.
Yeah.
That was one of the foods that we, as the home food producers, had proposed for the list. Believe me, there are a lot of kombucha producers out there. And they said, we want kombucha on the list. So we put it on the list. It was the first thing that the health director said, oh, no, kombucha, you've got to be joking. That's out of it. You know, I said, oh, all right. You know, we had no idea that there was this sort of deep-seated activity. I can still hear them.
Do they know what it is?
I doubt it, but, you know, but they heard it. They said, they absolutely not.
I want to add, as long as we're talking about labeling, Mark showed on his PowerPoint the items that should be included on the labels, and allergens also.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry, I forgot about that. Absolutely.
Yeah, if your product has one of the known allergens, then you need to know it's on there. And those are usually eggs, milk, soy.
Right, I think there are 9. So 9, and I can't decide all of them, but that's specifically why I put wheat flour. I didn't put flour, I put wheat flour, because I knew it was one of the allergens, and you can do it in 2 ways. You can either put a list that just says allergens, contains the following allergens, whatever, or if it's clearly delineated in your ingredients list, you're okay. So that's why I said wheat flour. So look at those, whatever the 9 are, look at those and then see if you can integrate.
And the reason is sometimes may not be the prominent product and it's just part of the ingredients. That is not. So those wheat flour, that's the part of bread. So it's easy to see. But if you're using like peanut oil or something like that, and that is an allergy.
Right, so you have to go peanut oil.
For that thing.
Yes, I think you're right.
If that's not actually an ingredient in the food, but it's something that's in the kitchen, do we need to say that made in the kitchen that has?
Yeah.
I've been getting labels that people say processed in a facility that, made in a facility that's processed is nuts. It's not a facility, so I mean, if you wanted to change the wording.
But the other thing is this, is that, and let's be realistic, if someone has food allergies like this and is really, really concerned about the food that they eat in that way, if those they find, as long as they see it's made in a home kitchen, they're probably not going to buy it. So,
Well, you're next, and then we'll come back to you.
If I have a website and I want to actually make a purchase through my website, like someone else will pay me with a credit card, and then I ship it to their home, can I do that? And do they have to be in my county or cooperative county?
Shipping.
Shipping, that's the big gorilla in the room that we're getting. You want to take that?
Shipping, you go ahead.
See, I told you we were never invited, right? Shipping is not allowed.
So essentially,
Delivery, right. If shipping to an actual state came in and made it clear, because last time we were here it was not. So now I say you cannot ship via UPS, Postal, FedEx, whatever. Now they order from you and you deliver it to them. You're doing it, that's the direct.
Well, okay, now it's you or one of your employees?
One employee. When I say you, I'm saying one of your FTE, one FTE. Right, of them, they're doing the delivery, that's direct sale. But shipping, anything is not allowed.
And that holds, right now, that holds for Class A and Class B.
Yep.
Even if you're in Class B, you cannot ship, which is, I think, absolutely
You
absurd.
can sell it to a
It's
third party.
And we're going to change that.
Well, you take the order online.
After your information, you can give orders and they can drive across the county and give it to them.
Yes. Unfortunately, you cannot, and I think that's absurd, and I think we should change it. And so if we can get together, we'll do this. We'll change it.
The gentleman and then you're next.
I don't think we can make it for that. Contact.
It's that wise to leave now, right?
Good to see you.
About the labels, to the tech
Yeah, that's right, if you sell it, but I think if you sell it by the piece, like one loaf of bread, it's buying a loaf of bread.
You can just say 1 loaf, right? That's it.
Yeah, when it comes to false advertising and all that, we'll let the ag department deal more. That's, yeah.
And actually, there's one last thing, reciprocity. I know you said that you're working on reciprocity with other counties. Is that something that's actively working on? Like, do you think it might?
That's something on the director's level,
okay.
So I don't know how far they're getting on that. But for us right now, it's the cities within the county.
Okay.
And how long did it take to get the reciprocity with the cities?
For us, for example, if Pasadena give you a permit,
No, but I mean at the director level. You said we're working at the
that
director
I don't
level.
know.
But I think my point is this: is they probably did it very quickly because they were only.
Oh, the cities.
The cities and.
Well, the cities, because they're in our city, they're in our county.
Yeah.
That is easy because we all have the same board of supervisors and everything.
Just
the counties, you don't know all different stuff.
I'm really interested in Orange County and Ventura. I mean,
Right, so that is what I'm saying, and that is something that may have to go to the board or
Okay.
something, so I'm not,
Okay.
I can't give it a choice. I think she is.
And so, I actually have two, you can choose just one if you want, but I have a question, that is, with the zoning, since everybody is mostly gonna be in the public doing, a home, I don't understand the zoning, you can refer me to somewhere else there, but everybody's working in their home and they're not commercially zoned to make food, so if you're talking about the city having its zoning things irrespective of the health department, can somebody answer how exactly it works as they're working?
I'll take it. Talk about, let's just say the city of Los Angeles, because that's the planning department I am in. And what they say is this: it is legal to have a home-based business in the city of Los Angeles. So as long as it's legal to have a home-based business, the zoning department can't say you can't do it. It's legal to do it. So as long as it's legal to do it, you can do it as long as you abide by all their rules and regulations. And all that stuff. And in fact, we wrote that into the bill at the state level. We said cities cannot, or local jurisdictions cannot prohibit you from doing it if home-based businesses are allowed in the local jurisdiction. But they also said this, is that if they're allowed, you have to allow them to make food at home, but they will still be subject to all the regulations and permits and everything you want to throw at them, you can.
So it sounds like that's the place we should start, actually.
What's that, the city?
With your city. Well, see if it's even allowed to have a home-based business.
No, in this, I think the zone, if you read the law, is allowed.
It is allowed. It is allowed. They can. It's allowed, but they can't. They can regulate it till the cows come home. They can't ban it.
They can't ban it.
Right. That's actually another one. There's 3 options that the city has.
Yeah.
Allowing it. That they need to tell you which one you fall under based on the city ordinance or whatever they're doing.
So you're right, so the city is the one, that's great. And so the second one is, this may be obvious to everybody, so stop me if I'm being dumb here, but why, even if from a consumer standpoint, why in one kitchen, why do you not have to have an inspection of both? I know why I need to ask. You know, why is it that if you're making something at home, you can sell it directly? That could be unsanitary too. Why is there no inspection for Class A?
Okay. Going back to the development of the bill, I believe we had these discussions with the health. There's a group out there called the CCDEH, which is the California Conference of Directors of Environmental Health. And this is the group that we were working with in developing the bill. And I say we, I mean the cottage food operators. And they brought up this issue of control. Basically, they felt that if you are making a product in your home, and this is what they told us, you are looking your customer in the eye. You have that direct contact with your customer, then they're going to know who actually made their food, and they're going to hold you responsible for it. And so they felt that that's the best way to make sure that you're on the up and up.
Hey, I'm all for it.
Look, I was surprised at this rationale, but it isn't. That's what they came up with, and I think that's
my
things you know about. So dried herbs and spices are fine. That are from your garden. And what about dried fruits?
Yeah, dried fruits.
The best way to look on the list, we have on our website, the state has it, and it has everything. The state actually is the one maintaining the list. So anything comes up and they have to add or delete, they're the one in charge of it.
And so would, so obviously fruits are perishable. Is that something that could you sell it at farmers markets? I think you could have a garden and you sell it.
Yeah, I want to touch on that. Whatever you use for your ingredients should be obtained from an approved source. So nothing grown from your backyard.
Unless your backyard is an approved source.
Yeah, an ag department. That's easy to do. You just go to the county ag department. They send an ag inspector, and he just makes sure that you have an orange tree. That's it.
What if you want to, what if you gather a lot? What if you go to the mill somewhere and gather something?
Or you're foraging.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that is an approved source.
No, that's not an approved source.
Yeah, so just a lot of times, maybe approved source is just someone coming and checking the etymology.
Yeah, so you can sell oranges at a farmer. That's not a cottage food.
Right.
It's not under that. It's not under the question.
No, that's county ag department, which is weights and measures. They send an inspector. Yeah. That's easy.
Yes, ma'am.
At what point in the process do you have to declare your product, and how much latitude is there within that? Like, if I'm Mark and I start a bread company, but then my great aunt gives me my grandma's spice rub recipe, and I want to sell that, do I have to open up a whole new company and a whole new permit for that?
If you want to add, yes, because well, for Class A, whatever you apply for, we're going to review those items, and your letter of approval will now include those items. So if you later on during the year you want to add an item to your list, you have to submit that list to us along with a $65 review fee, and we'll once we review that and approve, we'll issue you a new letter, which will include that added.
Which will add the second item to your first
existing list. Yes.
How broad a list can you come up with? For instance, I mean, mine list that said bread. I mean, and bread, there's lots of different kinds of bread. So,
as long as if you want to do everything on the state list,
so maybe you should just put everyone on the state
list.
No, that's a very practical point.
Because we cannot say this is your limit, you do this, you do that. That's just up to you. But if we gave you that permit and said this is what you're going to do, and we review your label and approve and you start something else, and it may not meet or there's an issue, that is something that you're taking over that this morning. So yes, you might say, give it the whole list. Maybe
probably a good strategy. Yeah, just say
if you want, you're gonna give us all your labels and everything prepared on them for ingredients and everything else that goes with it.
But you don't have to put all the things that you say you're going to be doing on every label, do you? I mean,
if you give us the whole list, we won't know what you're doing. Because if you think you're gonna do everything, we want to make sure you know what you're doing. So we may ask you to look at it
on the label
and try to.
You need money,
But yes, to us, if you come up with something, and I mean, we're all talking about doing it. We put a lot of effort in getting this going and starting, and we want to make sure that it wasn't cost prohibitive for everybody. By Zep being all done, I mean, she's basically one to review most of this stuff. She's spending a lot of time for reviewing and stuff coming back. I mean, the amount of time we put in to tell everybody the truth is not what we're charging right now. It's labels coming back and forth, questioning. I mean, it's almost, we didn't anticipate that. So, with that said, maybe come July when we go to Board of Superintendent all this time, we're putting in the fee may if we give us 40 things, then we need to know that's a lot of work. Because we don't want to rubber stamp something and it becomes a problem down the road for someone. You know, when Mark said, looking the person in the eye, when we give Mark a permit and we say he can make it at home, we assume he's going to do the right things. When you buy it from Mark, you said the health department says he can do it. So if we're not doing our job and something happens, we are not serving the public at the same time. We are not, I don't think it will be $600.
So, let me add to what Freddie was saying. So if you do submit, it used to be a couple days of turnaround. At least I'm talking for Class A, when we don't go out to field or to your house to do inspection. But if you, now I think I would say about 10 days of turnaround. And, we're getting a lot of requests and a lot of people have a lot of variety of products they want to sell. So we need to please be patient, and give us.
What's it turn on Class B? Let me ask you, we have about 30 or some permits so far in LA County. How many are waiting?
Another 150 something applied.
150 applications.
150. A lot of people have maybe 40 products.
And you have to approve all of them.
Each label, yes, for Class A and Class B, they were individual, reading each one, and there's a lot of
email and I'm replying emails on weekends, which we didn't anticipate that. But we try to expedite that so we can be responding to, if we can, measure, but it's very involved.
Right, and they're also putting in personal appearances on the weekends, for which they actually get, overtime.
Most of the time we spend the time here, probably not getting anything.
In the back.
What if my product is not intended for human consumption? Like I'm making dog cookies and selling them at the dog park. Do I need all this stuff?
No. We will not give a cottage food.
Do I need a cottage food permit if it's not intended for people to eat?
That's why I said we will not give a permit. So we will not be the one giving you a permit.
I think the state.
Animal, you have to go to
somebody else.
When you're giving out like the labels and you're looking at the labels and stuff, does it have to be by category? Like for example, if we're baking several different types of cakes or cookies or whatever, do you want to see a generic one for the cake, a generic one for the cookies, or for every specific type of cake?
We recently changed that. We used to ask for every single label for every single type of product. We recently changed that. Now we're asking for send us the label that has the most ingredient.
Okay.
And we'll go from there. If there are a lot of things that need to be corrected, we're just gonna make sure that we follow that. But we hope that one sample will guide us to duplicate.
If I'm getting a bunch of ingredients from like the farmer's market, then do I need to deduct them somehow, like that from a big source?
The farmer's market is considered a source. So if you buy from there, you have a receipt and